is good for me to do, even though I do have an extensive teaching background before I even got into dance. And Kajira was the one that said, do it! And I want you to do it at Tribal Fest.
I'm an instigator.
So yeah, 2005 was the first year that Tribal Fest had Gothic belly dance, and it sold out. And from there, it's been going on. That was one of the beginning of the plague. It's like Tribal Fest, Gothic belly dance workshop. End of 2005, 2006, Gothic belly dance DVD. The plague was set.
Yes, it was.
So but that was a historical moment in the Gothic belly dance timeline, and it's all because, well, a hard portion to this woman saying, I believe you can do it. I want you to try. And so she's awesome, and I don't mean to make, she's not crying, because she's going to make me cry, and you don't want me to start crying, because I'm going to need wine, and you're going to need to bring me lots of it, and cookies. So any other questions? Come on. What do you want to know? I always share my cookies. Mouse. Mouse.
Hail Satan. Oh, sorry.
Hey, what do you want? It doesn't even have to be about Gothic belly dance.
It can be about anything, belly dancey or not. Or just
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you too. Oh.
Yeah, really.
Really?
Why are people here?
My birthday.
Well,
Really?
birthday.
Happy birthday.
That's wonderful. Thank you. That's amazing.
It's a special better. And they came all the way from Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago is a great town. If you haven't been there, I highly recommend it. The people are so nice. And there's some cool Gothic belly dance stuff going on in Chicago.
And really good barbecue.
So, don't go in the winter. No, especially if you're from here, you're going to die. You're like, oh my God, it's 40 degrees out, I'm going to die. No, Chicago's, it's raining, I'm going to die. Yeah, no, snow. You're like, it's safely on the mountains over there. In Chicago, it's like, hi, I'm going to be in your ear and up your nose and down your pants.
Plus your plate.
And then you have the people on top of notes. Yes, question. Good question. She asks, how is Gothla UK different than here? I'm the only one who won. I'm like, oh God. I'm trying not to be a smartass because we don't have British accents. Good question. Okay, so Gothla UK has happened, I believe this might be their 4th year. I can't quite remember, 2007. Yeah, because we started Gothla US 2007 to happen in 2008. They started 2007 and made it happen in 2007. We like a little more time. So Sashi, Ariella, and I were the 3 Americans. They're like, we're going to bring these people over and see what happens. And their setup was interesting. It was many different buildings, and it happens in Leicester, England. I'm saying that right? Leicester. What looks like Leicestershire. And so it kind of takes over the downtown, and it's a little convoluted. So if you thought this was hard getting here, you would get very lost. And it's a smaller area, and it's kind of fun though because you get people with British accents, and there's like 5 different British accents, and then you have the Germans coming in and the Swedes, and so it feels. I mean, here we have Australians and New Zealanders and Canadians and Mexicans, and yes, we have a fair amount of multicultural, but you don't feel it quite so much because there's so many of you. We're a much bigger festival. And we allow a lot more with the festival dancing. They have a very small little show. And they have a souk. They have a souk upstairs of a bar. That's a nice thing though, there's a bar.
Yay!
That would be the upside. They have a beer garden. They have beer gardens. I don't know why they call them that in the UK. It's where they grow their beer. In the beer gardens. We got all kinds of, and the other thing is like, our job here is to teach the Aussies and the Kiwis and the Mexicans know of our language here. is we get to teach them strange American phrases we think are silly, and then we get to go over there and learn crazy British phrases like throwing a wobbly, which means having a hissy fit, and other sort of things, and strange food. Yeah. It's a good question. She asked for us to go over there, how is it perceived, like lineage-wise? The Brits think they came up with goth.
The Germans do too.
Yes, and the Germans do too.
Germans are ethnically a little bit more.
The ethnically, yes, they're a little more goth. It's kind of funny is that I know a little bit of the backstory is that they saw the Gothic belly dance DVD and they said, we could do better than that, and we're going to bring them over and show them. It's a different take. I wouldn't say anything is necessarily better. It's a different perspective. And the scenes are different. Like, I found like the music in the clubs reminded me more of the 1990s / New Jersey, which is very bizarre. Like, you don't normally hear Metallica at, a goth club. Here. There, it was sort of like we could have almost gone over to Bruce Springsteen. It was very interesting. A little mind-blowing. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's happened. I could have been hallucinating from the jet lag. But I'm pretty sure Sashi could confirm that there was such things. So there's that, and they also have a little bit of a different movement base.
Yes.
For, their tribal system. Well, Kajira's been bringing tribal, especially over to Germany, American tribal style. But
To England, and I can speak a little on that.
Okay, after. And so and their cabaret system is a little bit, because you have some that are very rare, they have their own brand of Egyptian dance, and then their own schools, which are authentic but not strange. It's very bizarre. So you're fusing that with Gothic versus here where, especially in LA, you have a very distinct cabaret system. There are systems. Everything is a system. It's a style. And being in the heart of American tribal style, the tribal fusion, at least when it started, was very close to tribal. We're not going to go off on that.
I'd like to add a little to the Gothla UK and performance. I have not attended personally, but I'm really good friends with one of the producers named Heike or Akasha. And when I've seen her dance and things, and hung around with she and her friends, Bridie and others, I noticed that they tend to do a lot more stomping and very militaristic things, I think, more so than we do, like the militaristic style of goth. They are very much more into vampirism, I think. And that's just, since I hadn't been to the Gothla UK, I can't say, but just from my friends that I know there that produce the event and do the things. Like Heike had huge vampire wings made. They're not like wings of Isis, but they are hooked and taloned vampire wings that are like 10 feet long on each side or something. They're pretty impressive. And they wear, big boots like we do, but I think their movement base is more out of cabaret style. And here you see more tribal fusion people doing a fusion of goth, and that's all I have to say.
Good question. Any other ones? Hi, Rob. Why aren't you behind the camera?
No, he's moving around.
Okay. He's mobile, Rob.
Yes. Oh, no! Wait, where's my can of worms?
What makes it belly dance is pretty much, how do you explain it and what makes it still belly dance?
I don't know. We have only 10 minutes.
But I'll let you start. Go.
It just got switched out. So Rob was asking basically, what is belly dance? And wait, I need to bang my head against a wall. I guess, the way we could approach this question is what it means to us personally, because I think okay, going back to your question, I think belly dance in the United States is kind of going through a growing pain because there are so many people who want to dance to non-Middle Eastern music, and there are people who, dancers who don't believe that if you dance to non-traditional music, then you're not a belly dancer. And I straddle both sides of the musical fence, so to speak, because I do Oriental, I do tribal, I do fusion, and I think it's, for me, what belly dance is a movement vocabulary based in the torso, meaning hip work, belly work, shoulder isolations, chest isolations. There are certain foot patterns and footwork that are done in belly dance that you see in cabaret, in tribal, in fusion. So there are these common movement lines, and the way the body is carried, you know, you'll see a belly dancer and she's very lifted, or a hip hop dancer will be more like, you know, more like this. So if you lift it up and make it belly dance, though it's a torso thing for me, but you can do it to non-Middle Eastern music. But this is my big disclaimer. If you are going to fuse, please know how to dance to Middle Eastern music. Know Kulthum, know your classics, know how to work with a live band. I know that a lot of people don't have chances to work with live bands, but even if you get to work with a drummer, or you get to work with a oud player or a nai player, take it. It's scary, but working with live music is the best thing you'll ever do as a dancer. So it's such an enlightening experience for me personally, but for me, belly dance, when I do my fusion work, I make sure that it stays within the torso in the belly dance vocabulary. So that's what it means to me.
I have to agree with Asharah in terms of movement vocabulary. I tend to focus a little bit more on isolations. Excuse me. But, you know, there's so many genres and subgenres these days, and people try, you know, they'll ask me, you know, well, what style do you do? And I say, I don't know. I'm confused. I'm just as confused as everyone else. But what and then the other aspect of it is, you know, when people complain, well, you're not dancing Egyptian. No, I can't. I've never been to Egypt. I don't speak the language. I don't practice their religion. You know, I don't know if I can even eat their food. I'm not Egyptian. I will never be Egyptian. I could live there for 20 years and I will never be Egyptian, right? I can only do American because that's what I am. However, I do my utmost to respect the culture. And I do admit that I might not completely understand the culture, but I do my best to continue to learn about the culture, where these movements arise from, how they practice their art, and at the same time being true to myself as an artist. And as, you know, I can't be anything but my own wacky self. So, you know, I just, that's all I have to say. Just respect the culture. And it's okay.
So, adding to that, we have the movement vocabulary, we have respect of the culture, and my own little twist is making sure that you understand how that movement, vocabulary, and culture comes with the music. So you need to understand, if you're going to do belly dance, even if you're not going to dance to Middle Eastern music, you need to understand Middle Eastern music because the music is what inspires those movements, okay? So even when I'm not doing, you know, and I like to incorporate Middle Eastern music, even if it's some sort of blending or fusion of it when I can, but because of what I learned from the Saidi rhythms and from the balladi and from a 9/8 to 5/8 to 6/8, and how the doom and the tech and the taksim come together, that's what influences how I move to everything else. Because many of you know, once you learn belly dance, you go to the club, you can't help it. It infiltrates everything. It's like, I can't remember how to dance like a white girl anymore.